Hello and welcome back for our next episode of Gamer Chats. This is episode 28. And we have me, Lotus, and Skull here with us. Unfortunately, we may or may not have a Ruthless with us. It's still to be determined. And we won't have Raptor for the next month, if I'm not mistaken.
If we're lucky.
If you're lucky, is what you mean. But
Not like he
anyway.
adds.
He adds to some things that when he gets excited about them. This just wouldn't have been one of those episodes. Speaking of, we are going to be discussing music. More specifically, if I can speak, uh, the impact that music has had on us through our lives and how it's kind of helped shape the kind of people that we are. So, Skull,
What?
how has music impacted you, my man?
Uh, I mean, that's kind of hard for me to say. I know it's kind of something that's helped to get me through, you know, hard times. There are definitely a couple of songs where I listen to them now, and all I can really think of is just like the first time hearing it and sort of how it helped me through like whatever it was I was going through.
Okay. Go on.
I mean, hmm. It's kind of like mm,
Ah.
music is kind of just something that, memories and emotion.
Well, then I ask the next question. What kind of music is it that you listen to help you with this kind of stuff?
Uh, Honestly, I couldn't pinpoint one specific genre. I listen to a bunch of
Well, name
different.
them off and all that fun stuff.
Mm, Well, I mean, I listen from everything to from like classical to heavy metal and like everything in between.
Okay.
Except for country music. Fuck the country music.
I was waiting for that. I know you don't like country music.
Well, I can't say fuck all country music. There are a couple songs,
So, okay,
just
now
a
my
couple.
next question for you in regards to country, because we're probably gonna touch on that again once we like touch on my everything. Which country is it that you don't mind exactly?
Um, there's two songs. I can never remember the name of them,
Only
but
two songs.
there's two songs, and the only reason why is because there's good memories associated with those two songs. It's the only reason why I will listen to country music is because of those two songs.
Well,
Which again,
the
it's
what?
not even like I don't know the names of the songs. I just know when they come on, like the song.
Well, that makes me ask, like, do you have bad memories associated with country music as a whole?
I just find the genre to be really annoying and repetitive. It's the same reason why I don't like most new pop music.
That's a fucking mood. It is why I don't like not modern, current country music because it kind of blends into that realm of pop as well. Um, but then again, like you still have a lot of that repetitive stuff, but I think it's more and I'll get into this more when I go into mine, but it's you definitely see it's not exactly there's a word for it. Healthy music, I guess is a good way to put it. It's very heavily based in religion with a lot of the stuff, and some of the songs are very don't have the greatest tone to them exactly. And what I mean by that is their message, because country music is known for portraying messages and things like that. It's why a lot of people do like country music is because it tells stories, which a good song should do that anyway. But yeah, no, I don't like a lot of the country music for that. That's why I like the older country a little bit more. And when I say older country, I mean 2000s country. That's the country I grew up on.
Yeah, I can definitely tell you the two songs that I like are older songs.
Which is fair. Now, what about all the other music?
Well, I mean, I kind of just listen to whatever sounds good.
That's a mood.
Um, I mean, my taste in music is kind of expanding from where it was, but I have been called emo more than once for my taste in music.
Wow, really?
Yes.
That's what
I've also
exactly? Well, what exactly is the music taste that gets you that title, though?
well, like a lot of it was the more like, grunge rock type, you know. I just eh, like I mean, I listen to a lot of just hmm
What about gothic metal? Like goth metal?
maybe I don't really I'm gonna be honest when it
So
comes
here's
to
my next question. Okay, so in return to the goth metal, have you listened to any of the songs I've kind of shared from like with them Temptation or
um
I don't remember if I've shared anything from Blackbriar, but I know they kind of count as goth
I
metal.
think a couple maybe.
Okay, so with them Temptation kind of falls into like the umbrella of symphonic metal, but also can be like rock, goth metal, and things like that.
Uh
Probably not then.
um yeah, I'm not sure. Let's just pull up my Spotify and look at the artists that I'm subscribed to.
Oh gosh, fair enough.
Uh, uh, my Spotify's kind of a mess of like people who have done stuff in musicals and a lot of like groups from I want to say about the 60s to the like 2010-ish period. And it's a lot of rock. It's mostly rock with like
Rock is amazing.
but there's like a couple of exceptions in here, like I like Jack Stauber's music, and he does more like the indie pop type
Ew.
stuff, but it's I don't know, like there's something about his music. I don't typically enjoy pop music, but there's something about the music that he makes that it's catchy. Like it's definitely got that pop vibe to it, but it's not like most regular pop music now at least.
That is fair. I don't think I've actually listened to a pop song from recent years at all,
Um
so I would not know how it sounds.
Yeah, no, just a couple. I'll pick a couple of musicians out of here. Some of them you might not know because they're French.
So then,
Like
yeah, I probably won't know them at all.
yeah, yeah. But I've got musicians like 3 Days Grace in here.
Ah, 3 Days Grace, yes.
I've got a bunch of French musicians that I'm just gonna completely skip over. I've got stuff by Sick Puppies,
No,
Shinedown. I've got
fuck, throw the French in there. I like French. Hi, Ruthless.
um if you've ever heard of Stromae or Stroma.
No, I just know I haven't heard of any of them, but I'll probably still say just toss them on in there.
Alright, there's Vita and Slimane. They're two different musicians, but they do a lot of collabs together.
All right.
Uh, Continuing on, there's stuff by Radiohead, Queen. I've got Rare Americans, Paramore, Panic at the Disco. Just like it's a mix. I've got Oasis, stuff by The Offspring. Just it's a mess in here. MCR,
Okay.
Metallica.
Metallica. Yeah.
Isn't bad.
Juice World, apparently. Journey. GNR. Gerard Way. Garou, another French musician. Yeah, there's a lot. It keeps going. David Bowie.
David Bowie.
It still continues. Bon Jovi. Bo Burnham.
So you like, it seems like you like a lot of the classics.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Oh boy. Let's not get into the absurd amount of all-time low songs I have saved.
Alright, fair enough.
And this isn't all of them either. I've been adding more. The list expands. I remember the names of musicians.
Alright, so then I ask, is there anything you'd want to add before we move on to Ruthless in regards to music's impact on you? And the genres you listen to?
Uh, if I remember anything, we can come back later.
Alright, Ruthless! I hope you have something prepared, my man. You wanted to join us after all.
Oh yeah, I was like, yeah, might as well join. There's some music that there's some playlists that I just have that I kind of use mainly. Like, there's like a certain playlist I apply when I'm like doing nothing and just relaxing, or just want to play certain music that I just want to have for working out when I'm like at home, or if I have my headphones on. I should get my play.
And how would you say that music has impacted you as a person?
Not much if I had to think about it for a minute. Other than like maybe I sometimes use it when I'm like just wanting to use it just to block everyone out and just be left alone. And if I just want to just be a little bit reclusive and just like, okay, this is peace and quiet, you know.
Okay. Well, but that's a short and easy thing for you, Ruthless. In that case, I will go ahead and add in my piece to it. Because music is a very large piece of my life. So I have quite the things to add to this. So I can say first off and foremost, what I listen to now is a lot of metal and rock. More along the strings of symphonic metal and goth metal and things like that. Rock is kind of a mixed bag. It's whatever comes on, really. It's a lot like Skull said, whatever sounds good and doesn't make my ears bleed.
Yeah, no. I definitely feel you with the whole ears bleeding thing. I can't handle screamo as a
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the thing, like, you because a lot of the times, especially when I'm writing, whenever I sit there and listen to a certain radio, whether it be Within Temptation, Blackbriar, or even random ones like Three Days Grace or Breaking Benjamin, there are times where there are certain songs that come on, and I'm just like, oh no no no, we skip past this one, keep going. But if I can just sit there and let the song play without it having an effect on me as I'm writing, then it's fine. Unless I tune into it and then I'm like, damn, this is a good song. I've had a few of those.
I gotta admit, I used to like had to agree with you on that one, and I got to admit 3 Day Grace is like really situational with like how you want to listen when you want to listen, because some of their songs work so well in certain instances if you're in the right mood. But there's some songs that is just like screaming type of rock. I'm like, you lost me.
Well, I think that's for a lot of bands. The only ones I can say I have yet to find a lot of songs I don't like, because For a lot of bands, I can say there's kind of like a happy medium for me where there's quite a lot of songs I like, but also quite a lot of songs I don't like. There's probably three bands I've found that don't really fall into that. The first one, obviously, is the one that got me into the genre, which is With Them Temptation. There's a lot of their library that I love to a fault. I think the only time I don't was whenever it was almost borderline screamo, not quite screamo, but like hitting those kind of notes and hitting that deep growl kind of thing. I don't remember what the album was, but I do remember it listening to, or at least trying to, when I got into the band. The other one was Smash Into Pieces. I know that one's a rock band. You just do see a little bit of like almost dabbling in the country when they release like acoustic versions of their songs because it has like that country feel to it just because of the guitar they're using. But a lot of their songs, again, like I have yet to find a lot of songs I don't like. Like there's some meh ones, like with that English, With Them Temptation, but not a lot I don't like. The other one is Blackbriar, which is from what I've noticed a fairly new band, at least like maybe 5 years old, 5 6 years old at this point. So they don't have the biggest library to work with, but what they do have, I do absolutely love. I think one of my favorite songs they've sung is "Beautiful Delirium," which I've probably sang to you, serenade you guys with a few times. Oh, again,
I see.
I've serenaded you guys with a lot of songs, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, with your really like out of nowhere performances.
Hey, that's the best thing about them. They're very spontaneous.
You're like a bard.
I am like a bard. It's amazing that I don't like playing bards more often in D&D, isn't it?
Wait, you don't?
No, I like paladins.
I mean,
Well,
bards have
okay, I
certain
forget.
stereotypes.
That too. That
Anyway,
too. They do have a lot of those stereotypes that I'm not too fan of. As I mess with my ace as fuck fan, so in the meantime.
I'll be fair. Yeah, paladins are definitely simpler, and
It's
bards
not a
have
matter of
a lot.
simplicity. It's just the role I've always fit. I've always been a shield, someone to soak up the damage, a tank essentially, and also a healer. I'm the support essentially, and paladins always felt like it was like the support along with a bit of like damage,
yeah.
obviously. So that's why I choose paladin a lot more often than anything else, is because that's just the role I fit, no matter what. No matter what game I play, I am something of a paladin. That's why. A little bit of information you didn't need to know, but you know now. Anyway, um, I didn't always listen to metal and rock. That actually happened. I think after I got out of high school, I started getting into the genre. Um, for the most part, all my childhood and even up to graduating high school. No, not graduating high school. Take that back. Junior year of high school, I listened to country music. Country was, the one thing I loved the most. It was all I ever heard because where we're from, which is northern Maine, in a one gas station, one main street, one grocery store kind of town, which is the most likely to have meth labs, which, trust me, there's a lot of them up there.
Oh, I
um,
I can definitely agree with you on that one.
oh, yeah.
Still
Oh, yeah.
recording?
I think,
I used
Are you still recording?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I think
Watching
last time we were up there as a family, my aunt was giving my mother the tour, and she's saying, "Oh yeah, and that was a crack den, and that was a meth lab, and that one was a meth lab." And my mom's just like, "Okay." So yeah, no, it definitely is. But
Kind of entertaining, but also like, yikes.
yeah. Hey, at least we don't live there anymore. That's the only good thing. But yeah, like country was the main station you got up there, so it was just something I kind of fell into as a result because I didn't really know anything else. And I think that also what really contributed to some issues I have with fully accepting that I am aromantic, because a lot of my childhood was brought up on romance from like Disney, just society in general shoving it down your throat, and country songs, because a lot of country songs is about love and heartbreak. Obviously, you get some
Yeah.
things in between that isn't that, but a lot of it is obviously like love and heartbreak, cars, broken hearts, and all that fun stuff. I will say I still come across them. Obviously, they're not my favorite songs to listen to anymore now that I know what they're talking about. But that is the country songs that kind of get into sex, and I'm just like, no, thank you.
Yeah, no, that's kind of the reason why I don't like country music. It's either broken hearts, sex, or beer. Or tractors.
Okay, look, I don't mind the ones about beers and tractors. Those are actually really good songs. You need if you ever get a chance, I know it's a little weird, but Toby Keith is actually one of my favorite. Toby Keith and Trace Atkins are two of my favorite country singers because they're very much like you still get those occasional songs of like love and broken hearts and things like that, but it's done in a different way where it's not like a lot of other singers in my opinion. So like take Toby Keith for example. A lot of some of his songs like I know I shared what what was it, American Dream or something like that? You remember the music video with like them on
Yeah.
the motorcycles and everything? The head.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, Ruthless. You remember? That's Toby Keith.
I also remember the one that was like the really weird song of God. I had part of me is just like, do I want to get this channel demonetized?
We don't care. What monetization?
I'm joking. I think it was
How
like
can you get
Money One.
demonetized if you're not monetized?
Exactly.
I think the song was about shaking something.
Oh, honky tonk badonkadonky. That's Trace Atkins right there.
Yes, that
Where
one.
it's basically shaking ass. Literally, the first few lines is like, if we play it good and loud, she might get up and dance again. Oh, she put her beer down. Here she comes. Here she comes. And then, I mean, literally, like, we don't do this for the glory. We do this for that badonkadonk.
I hate you guys so much right now.
You should have seen the music
That
video.
song?
It's nothing but shaking ass.
Yeah. I was
Oh.
uploading it. I did when I first listened to that, I had to just like turn away my face from that shit
I
because
fucking
I was
love
like,
that song.
I got a part of me likes it, but at the same time, if I look at the video, I'm like,
No,
No.
the video's one thing. Okay, if you look at the video, that's a whole different thing. But listening to the song on its own is actually really good. I will be the first to admit that. Like even I know what it's talking about, and I'm just like, yeah, let's go.
honestly, the song is not that bad.
No, it's
If
not.
you
It's actually
just-
really good. I've probably sang
Yeah.
it a few times, and you guys may not have realized it. To be quite honest with you, because that is a very catchy song, and it's so easy for me to catch up on the lyrics. Because I've heard it so many times, and I really do enjoy it. But like some other songs, Skull, that may not really have to do with heartbreak, but like in capitalizing, like Toby Keith does sing a lot of American songs because he's a patriot, so there's that. You also do have like "Who's That Man," which, oh my gosh, I do enjoy that song. It's basically like someone who's it seems like was divorced or kicked out, and their ex-wife has moved on, and their kids seem happy with it, and they're just like everything's missing but me. And what it would be like if I just showed up again, kind of thing. And I'm like, damn, that's kind of nice. Another one that I personally love is "She Never Cried in Front of Me," or just toxic love, and how you're like reflecting on wondering where you went wrong and realizing you did go wrong somewhere, and how you wishing you could possibly have a second chance, but you know you'll never. It's I do appreciate their catalog, or like Trace Atkins. Again, he has a lot more of those I wouldn't want to say player songs, but they're swing, which is basically guys trying to hit on a woman, but them failing until the very end, until one guy manages to succeed. Obviously, honky tonk badonkadonk.
Oh, that's
That's
keep on
Trace
listening
Atkins.
to. I don't know.
It's great. I think one of his songs. Oh, ladies love country boys too. Can't forget about that one.
Come on, you guys.
Ladies love country boys.
Oh my god, I hate this so much.
I love this. The one song I love that's one of his slower songs is Every Light in the House, where it's basically these two break up and is basically saying about how he'll leave every light on the in the house on, but as time goes on, they both agree. He also agrees that they're better off away. He'll start turning off the lights one by one, and I'm just like, oh, I love it. And see, it's songs like that I enjoy, but it's the ones where you have like the people who are just like trying to stop someone leaving, or like, just very nice guy and simping mentality, I guess is the best way to put it.
Ew.
Yeah, you get. I think that's a big problem I have with country now is that you see a lot of that. I think it's also why I tend to try to stay away from a lot of the male singers and lean towards the female ones, because they obviously they do sing a little more about the broken heart part and the actual feelings associated with it. Whereas the guys are just like, "You shouldn't leave me. We were perfect together," and I'm just like,
It gives me like it kind of gives me the vibes of the divorce, like the extremely crazy divorce dad.
Almost. And when you said that, like, it reminded me of a duet that Reba McEntire sang with, I can't remember who. I want to say it was Kenny Chesney, but I could be wrong. Every Other Weekend, where again, it is also where it kills me too, because of my own mentality and how I see things. Um, with how these two divorced like parents are meeting every other weekend to trade off their kids. um, but they also still love each other, but they can't admit their feelings to each other because it's messy and complicated. And I'm sitting here like, but does it have to be? Why does it have to be? Why can't you just tell each other? That's also another issue I have with a lot of country. It's like, oh, I love her, but I can't tell her. And I'm like, why? Be a man. Spit it out. Get to the fucking point. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It just kind of stuff just bothers the ever living hell out of me. And it's why I've also moved away from country as a result. Like, obviously, I'll still listen to country here and there. Usually, it's a lot more of the early 90s, late 90s, early 2000s to late 2000s. There are some early 2010s I do listen to because that was right around the time where I stopped listening to country music. Um, but it's not a huge catalog that I listen to. It's mostly stuff that my mother got really into around that time. Things like Mama's Broken Heart by Miranda Lambert, Tornado by Little Big Town. I used to like Girl Crush by Little Big Town, but I don't really like that one anymore. No, 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 no. Like, it's got a good melody and tone to it, but I just don't like the lyrics so much. Because at first it sounds like the person actually has like a girl crush, but the lyrics are like, oh no, she only has this girl crush because she misses her ex. And I'm like, or this person that she's enamored with. I'm like, ooh, okay. Because I think one of the lyrics is like, maybe if I was more like her, then he'd like me. And I'm like, oh, no, no, no. That's bad. So, yeah, fun stuff. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
country. Yeah, it's not the best for building healthy mentalities. That's why I like certain other songs that kind of border on that country rock, like Johnny and June by Heidi Newfield. I know I've definitely sung that one for you guys. um, just because I personally like the story of Johnny and June's love story and how like they're just so in love and everything. But yeah. Um, so yeah, country music's okay. It's definitely something I listen to just to edit my work, or if I'm trying to kill my muse, because I don't know why, but country music just kills my writing muse, and I love it. Because if I don't want to get lost in a daydream for a few hours staring at a wall, then I just listen to country music and it's gone. Which is why I work to country music, doing like boring work, I should say, not like the fun stuff. But funny enough, right around junior year, when me and my ex had our mutual breakup, that's when I stopped listening to country music, which is funny because that's when you think I'd fall more into country music because of all the songs about scars and broken hearts and all that shit, right?
I kind of didn't. I kind of don't think so. Even I kind of don't think so. Admittedly, I'm not like I I I'm not a huge music guy, but I can definitely see some people. But I definitely don't see myself one of those people who fall more into country if I just had like a breakup.
Well, as someone who listened to country prior and listened to nothing but country, you think that'd be
Yeah,
nothing I'd listen to at
yeah.
that point. But actually, I was driven away from country around that time because I couldn't take hearing those kind of songs anymore. So I actually fell into listening to new age, instrumental kind of music, like electronica and all that fun stuff. That
Do you like
last,
dubstep?
I like some dubstep. I know, isn't Lindsey Sterling considered dubstep?
I think so.
I think, yeah, because I think she is considered dubstep. I need to look this up actually. Hold up here, because now I'm curious. And my back hurts. I just wanted to share that with you.
Congrats
Thank you.
on your suffering.
Oh yeah, I've been suffering for about a week now. So music genre. So she's actually considered pop. So wait, so variety from classic to pop and rock to electronic dance music. So she's like a variety. She's a mixed bag. I'd like to know the ones that are considered rock. I'd add that to the playlist. Probably the ones where she's got some metal singers.
Lindsay Sterling, right? Or
The violinist.
oh, her, yeah.
Yeah.
If you like Lindsey Sterling, she's done a couple of songs with Pentatonics. They're the a cappella group.
I don't know them. I will say that now.
I've sent a couple of their songs before. I know that.
But no, yeah. I mean, I listen to it here and now. A lot more of her songs I tend to like listen to consistently are the ones that actually do have the singers. I know "Shatter Me," "Love Goes On and On," or "Love Goes On and On," or is it "Love Goes On and On"? It's one of the two titles. But those ones I know have "Our Love Goes On and On" has the singer from Evanescence, and "Shatter Me" has I think Hailstorm. So I tend to gravitate towards those two songs a little bit more. And I forget when exactly, but my first introduction to heavy metal was through a this may be funny or not, well, more symphonic metal than anything, but it was through a AMV Final Fantasy 13 video. And the song that it was, if I'm not mistaken, was The Truth Beneath the Rose, The Darkest Side of Me by With Them Temptation. After that, it was all downhill from there. Because then I heard, Hand of Sorrow, got more into With Them Temptation. Then I heard Nightwish. I think it was Nemo. Nemo was the first song of Nightwish I heard. That was Escapist, but the only thing is, like, I don't really like a lot of Nightwish's stuff. It's okay, but I think out of their entire catalog, I only like 4 songs. 4 songs. 5 maybe. Depends on the mood for the 5th one. But yeah. And then through With Them Temptation, I've started listening to Evanescence again. Breaking Benjamin, a few songs from 3 Days Grace. I've only ever listened to one Hailstorm song. I don't really care for their kind of music. Just because of the lyrics. And I'm just like, yeah, no. Don't do that here.
What? What's Hailstone?
Hailstorm. It's.
Yeah.
I don't want to say this just because the few songs that I have come across are this way, but they seem a little. I wouldn't say raunchy, but are more geared towards sex, I guess, and like that kind of like thing. Like, did you listen to the one I sent? Do Not Disturb.
That song?
Yeah, that's Hailstorm. That's basically about fucking, essentially. I mean, literally, one of the lyrics is literally like, 2 is better than 1, 3 is better than 2.
Oh.
I'm gonna go get supper. I'll be back in a little bit.
Alright, it's just you and me now, Ruthless.
I Lord, that one. So,
Yeah.
that made me a little bit suffer a little bit inside.
I mean, I like the melody of that song, so I don't mind it. That one's actually grown on me. I will admit to that. But the other ones, I'm just like, it doesn't have the same kind of hit to it. Oh, can't forget about Skillet. Skillet's another good one. The first one I heard for that one was Whispers in the Dark.
Mine was actually Monster.
I love Monster. I heard that one not long afterwards. But I think I also like The Resistance. That's a really good Skillet song. One of my favorites personally, actually. Whispers in the Dark and Resistance is my 2 favorites. Let's see.
I can definitely see that.
I bet you can. There it is! Oh my gosh, I've been looking for this fucking song. Okay, don't mind me. So I try to keep my playlist organized to like country, pop, metal, and rock because it kind of blends together for me at some points. And instrumental. Well, for some reason, an instrumental song found its way into the playlist, and I don't know how I put it there. And for the longest time, I could not find it until just now. And I'm like, there it is, you little bitch. So.
This might be a really weird take, but I kind of prefer instrumental way more than most of the singing songs. I don't know why.
I do, depending on the song, because I know, like, with Them Temptation, they do release a lot of instrumental versions of their songs, which I really do love, because I do enjoy hearing their music just on its own. Because that's ultimately what it is that gets me, is just, I like the instrumental stuff. If it has good lyrics, then it's gonna keep me hooked. But if it's got a good melody, that's what really keeps me there. It's the same thing with the Hailstorms Do Not Disturb, like I said. The reason why I like it so much is not because of the lyrics, obviously, but it's because of the instruments and shit like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I generally do enjoy the instrumental parts, but it's usually the rock and metal that has words and singing and lyrics, like the singing songs, that get me inspired a lot more. So I tend to use metal and rock a lot more when it comes to writing my stuff. Just because, well, it just gets the creative process going. I don't know what it is, but country music kills the muse, rock and metal fuels it. In most cases. I have found, excuse me, some pop music has been starting to do that too, but granted, it's pop music more from like the early 2010s, essentially. Some that's from the 2000s that's been sneaking its way through, only because recently I've been listening to fan-made songs. You know what I'm talking about, Rithos?
I see.
Yeah. It's mostly Hell of a Boss related stuff. I don't know how many people watching this would have heard of Paranoid DJ, but they work on a lot of fan-made stuff and things like that. And some of there's a few songs from their catalog that's Hell of a Boss related that I really do like, which is Use Me Up, Angel's Order, Pop, Cherry's Assault, Just Look My Way, Stolas' Lament. I think I liked their cover of Insane, which was originally done by some others. I don't remember what their names were off the bat, but I enjoyed their cover of Insane. It was a good cover. And things like that. And I've also heard Addict a lot with through different. I like the metal version of Addict. Same with We Don't Talk About Bruno and things like that. I don't know why metal can just make some things just sound so much cooler. Metal and rock. You know what I mean, Ruthless?
Yeah, it can. Especially, well, yeah. I kind of prefer the instrumentals. A lot of the songs is sometimes the lyrics just fucks over the whole instrumentals. But when I'm like, so when I sometimes really want to hear the instrumentals, I will try to look it up or try to find some way to like just remove the lyrics and just hear the instrumental.
Okay, I feel that.
Because I will admit a lot of songs, if you don't have good instrumentals, that's just a bad song. So some of the rap music that has really bad instrumentals and just have good lyrics, I'm like, I'm sorry, but that's trash.
So that's kind of a thing with me. The music I will never listen to of my own free will, and I say of my own free will because Adidas tends to play more like I wouldn't say like full on rap, but you still hear some rap and like pop and things like that in their stores. But the music genre that I absolutely will not listen to of my own free will is rap. I cannot stand the genre at all. Mostly
My
because
biggest issue is like the instrumentals.
that too, the instrumentals, and I don't like a lot of the lyrics either from what I can pick up on. Just because I have a certain taste in what I like when it comes to lyrics and songs and things like that. And usually when I hear rap and that kind of stuff, it's usually how it's like country on steroids almost. Just
Oh yeah,
yeah, it feels a lot like country, but if you take out the country and add in city instead,
and
with the
adding the
way.
gangster aspect of it.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, essentially, but that's why I don't really like it because country I wouldn't say it's tasteful by any means. It's just slower. Obviously it takes its time. It kind of bathes in its instruments and that kind of stuff, and it's very soft. I can say that for right now. Country is very soft,
Yeah,
whereas rap does feel a little harsh, especially when you listen to some of them, some of the lyrics, and I'm just like, oh, I don't like that at all.
yeah.
But it's also
Admittedly,
go ahead.
I only have like maybe a handful of rap songs, and hilariously, there's one artist that you probably would be like, wait, that is on that list, but it was like before his whole psychotic breakdown.
Is it who I think it is?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. You don't need to say it. I already know.
even
I
though
mean,
his song, like that song, is actually pretty good. Like I think I wouldn't be surprised if you would like wouldn't hate that song
well, from
specifically.
what I've understood of his music, obviously when he was more starting out versus what he's going through now, is it was very touching and important to a lot of people, and I can definitely understand that because music can touch on that kind of level where you can just relate to a piece
Up a
and
little bit. I'm not a fan of his. I'd never been, but I thought one of the songs that I listened to, I love it, and I use it, and I actually listen to it all the time when I work out by myself.
okay. Well, I mean, you don't have to really be a fan of someone to enjoy a certain
Yeah,
song or anything, but it still goes into what I say. Like there are certain things that like certain pieces that we just really relate to. It's kind of like the same way with me and I guess some older country songs because there's one country song that I will always listen to without fail, and that's just because of how much I love it and connected with it both as a child and now, which is Who I Am by Jessica Andrews. And it's probably one of those exceptions to the rule of country because it doesn't really talk about the basics you'd expect from country. It's talking about it's basically this woman reflecting on the fact that even if I don't do great things in life, that doesn't matter because I am who I am. And I think it's such a strong thing. I actually kind of want to pull up the lyrics. Some of the lyrics, just like, because it literally starts out saying, even if I never see the seven wonders, that will be alright. Kind of thing. And I'm just like, ah. Oh, the do 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 do. It's right
Oh.
here.
Sung by Jesus.
No, we're not talking about that. We already had our time.
Or yeet off.
Oh my gosh.
Jesus.
Okay. I'm ignoring those things. But basically, yeah, no, like,
Yeah.
the song Who I Am by Jessica Andrews is very much an exception to what you think of country. Because it's going on, like, even if I never see the seven wonders, if I never make it to the big leagues, that's going to be just fine because I know exactly who I am. Then the chorus basically emphasizes that, saying, this is who I am, and I'm proud of it. I'm flawed, but I've got people who still accept me for who I am and know where I stand. And I think, let's see, the biggest part that I like here is this one right here. So it's kind of like, almost like the crescendo, I guess is the best way to say it. The peak, the big, everything. It's, I'm a saint and I'm a sinner. I'm a loser, I'm a winner. I am steady and unstable. I am young, but I'm able. That is something I always loved. It's also why I can't listen to it much anymore like I could when I was younger. But it's Somebody's Hero by Jamie O'Neal. And I loved the song. I still love it. The only problem is it makes me cry. Every single time, without fail, it makes me cry. One, I've got mommy issues. So that's the first reason why it makes me cry. Second of all, it's just a really sweet song because, again, it's a deviation from what we'd expect of his country, where it doesn't talk about the basics, where it talks about a woman who isn't someone grand to everyone else, but she is someone's hero in the eyes of her little girl that she's raising on her own as like a single mother. And the first verse is going over how the girl is like a toddler. The second verse is, or second chorus, I guess best way to put it, is her giving away her daughter at her wedding and her being so proud of the girl that she raised, which I'm already getting emotional, fun stuff there. And the big finale of it is where her daughter's reflecting. Oh, fuck, I can't do this. I'm gonna cry. Don't worry about me.
I think there's a lot of interest. A lot of things are going on that's quite interesting.
Oh my gosh, you've no idea. Okay, I'm gonna try and do this anyway. I'm still gonna cry regardless, but I'm gonna get through this. But the big finale to it is her daughter reflecting on her mother's life and hoping she'll be as great of a person as her mother was. And I'm like, ah! Like, literally, like, the closing out is as she sits there brushing through her mother's long silver hair, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, why? Oh, I'm crying. Like I said, without fail, it gets me to cry. Like, it's a deviation from what you'd expect of this country, and it's so good. And I'm also very emotional, and like I said, I have mommy issues, so expect this. This is just normal at this point. And I still love the song. It's beautiful. Beautiful singer, beautiful instruments. It's just, it has it all. But because of my personal issues, I can't listen to it without crying. Like, literally, every time it starts to play in my playlist, I skip over it and scream out, I don't need to cry. That's how bad it is for me. And it's why I like a lot of the earlier 2000s country, because you get those gems like that, and I'm just like, ah, it's great. But sometimes you want to cry, but like, if you want to cry, I just listen to that song. It's And then the only other one that's very similar to that. It doesn't get me to cry, I guess is the way to put it, but it tugs at my heartstrings, which is one of With Them Temptation songs, and that is Say My Name. And I didn't realize what it was at first that the song was talking about, but I came later to learn that it's actually talking about dealing with someone who has dementia as they forget everything. I actually need to pull because like I can't really convey it too well without seeing the lyrics. And hold up, With Temptation. There you are. Let me see here. Yeah. Please say my name, remember who I am. You will find me in the world of yesterday. You drift away again, too far from where I am, when you ask me who I am. I didn't realize it at first. That's what it was talking about. But then I'm just like, fuck. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Music, man.
Yeah, it
It's
seemed like it really formed you.
it really did. Oh my gosh. And another new, like a more recent band I kind of discovered. They're not recent, but I discovered them recently, and that's Icon for Hire. And the song I absolutely love from them, which is quite a few of them, but it's Cynics and Critics. It's my favorite one of their bunch. It's one of their earlier songs, if I'm not mistaken. There's also Amaranth, something like that. I've got quite a few from that band that I do enjoy, but I do like their one. I think from their first album, Amaranthine is the song. There's also Maximize, which is a nice little song. That song, On the Rocks. I like their catalog. Ooh, excuse me. Still doesn't quite compare to like With Them Temptation. That's woo boy. um, but no, yeah, I can definitely say it definitely the music definitely molded me into like the person I am. I'm pretty sure if some people look at me, they never would have guessed the music that I listen to until they're like, "What the fuck is this?" And it's like, "Nah, don't worry about it, man." But
I
yeah,
see. Interesting.
and because of the fan songs I've been listening to recently, I've obviously been getting a lot of old pop songs I used to listen to. I used to listen to Kesha when she had some of her bigger songs, "Take It Off," "Blow." I noticed that Till the World Ends came back into the list. Poker Face from Lady Gaga. I'm just like, I haven't heard these since I was in high school. If that doesn't tell you how old I am. All that fun stuff. Whee! And then, of course, a bunch of other songs and stuff like that. I'd actually have to go into like my liked songs because that's where like all the miscellaneous shit gets put.
I see.
Yeah,
You,
let's see.
you know, I realized I have one song I always listen to, like when I'm really love, when I'm like that I add to my workout playlist. I haven't realized it had this was the song "I'll Make a Man Out of
Oh,
You."
make a man out of you! Oh my gosh,
I love
that's
that song.
another set of music that's kind of defined me. Disney, like fucking damn Disney. Holy fuck.
Admittedly, the one movie that had all my favorite songs was Mulan. Like all of the
Mulan
songs are
had.
so inspiring.
Oh my gosh. Like, Honor to Us All was such a good introductory song. Reflection woke up something in every queer kid. You cannot tell me
Yeah.
otherwise. Because I was one of those queer kids. So did Let It Go, but we don't talk about that.
Let It Go, I kind of did not feel it from that one.
I did, but only because I can understand why a lot of people say it very much feels like a queer coming out kind of anthem because of what it is. Obviously, it's talking about depression and letting go of depression and shifting into a new state of being, basically going through a paradigm shift. But again, it very much does come with that kind of queer feel to it, because you're basically saying, I've lived this life I've never loved. Here I am saying, fuck the rules, fuck everything. I'm coming out. This is who I am. It's like that I can understand, like, but it doesn't quite hit the same way that Reflection does, because yeah, it's Reflection. I think the only song I wasn't too fond of was A Girl Worth Fighting For. Like, it's good, and the cutoff at the end when they see the reality of war is really good. It's like one of the best transitions. And I like how after that there are no more songs because the reality hits them. But I'll Make a Man Out of You is the best song for a training montage ever.
Yeah. That's why I have it in my playlist. I'm like, when I'm just cranking that weights, I'm like, having that in the playlist, I'm like,
Make a
fuck
man out of you. Basically. Oh my gosh. Let me think what else there is here. I'm trying to think of some other like Disney stuff that I really liked. I liked a lot of stuff from Encanto. Encanto had some really good songs.
I've been meaning to watch that, but I was like,
If
busy.
you don't get a chance to watch it, the only thing I would suggest, like, just listening to the music, if anything, like the songs. The Familia Madrigal, or the Madrigal family, the first song, like, where you're introduced to the Madrigals. The next song, if I'm not mistaken, is Waiting on a Miracle, where Mirabel sings about, it's basically her I Want song, more or less, or a power ballad. Take your pick. After that, we definitely do have Surface Pressure, which is a bop. Like, you're a little kind of thrown off when it goes from like this really gruff, like I move mountains, like that really deep. I take what I'm handed and I crush it kind of thing. Like, very, very low. I guess I go with low and deep. But then it goes to like the drip, 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 and we're like, hello. It is a bit of a shift, but it is actually really good. Makes for like a really good song and shows that the actress has a lot of range to her voice.
Yeah.
The next one's everyone's favorite. We don't talk about Bruno. Which that's a fucking bop. Like, holy hell. Oh my gosh. It's why, like, oh my gosh, I love it all. How they like have each little own interpretations of Bruno and their own different ways of singing as well. Because obviously you have like Felix and Peppa who start first, and you go to Dolores, which has this very hush whisper kind of voice, and Camilo, who's very rock and that kind of thing. And then it all kind of builds and builds until they all come together and sing like a big stage performance. And I think my favorite part personally, and it, we can maybe go over this in like an own episode or whatever the case may be, but and that it's how a lot of people respond to Isabella in Encanto and how she is towards Mirabel. Well, as someone who is an older sister, not necessarily in such a large family like that, but someone who is an older sister, I understand where Isabella was coming from with her misguided and misplaced contempt for Mirabel, and as well as the struggle for perfection. Because a lot of people may not think on it, but that is a very, very real thing. And it can very easily cause a lot of trauma that you may not realize it, and stress and anxiety, and a lot of other stuff that causes you to be put on antidepressants. So fuck you.
I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah.
Well, admittedly, I don't really need to. I didn't really need to look like. I didn't have my siblings. Like, I had to deal with my siblings that much because I'm like the youngest.
See, it's different for
So,
you then. But when you're the eldest,
yeah,
it's a whole nother thing.
yeah.
And especially
When you're like the
oh yeah, go ahead.
and when you're like the one kid that's like, there's like gigantic age gaps, like 10 or 6 years older than you. That is like so big that it's just like,
They don't fucking care
and
anymore.
even
You're just another kid.
yeah,
I think you and Danny would really relate together because I know there's big age gaps between him and his siblings.
and also we've lived in totally different houses.
Yeah. But that's why, like, in Isabella's song, "What Else Can I Do?" I absolutely love that. It's very much like, it's not quite like "Let It Go." "Let It Go" is like its own thing, but it's definitely good. Well, mentioning Frozen again, the second movie, I didn't care for a lot of the music in that one, but I will definitely say Into the Unknown is beautiful. I can't say I like it more than Let It Go, but I do like it. It doesn't quite compare to Show Yourself. Show Yourself did get me to cry because just during the song, whenever her mother was just like, "You are the one you've been waiting for your entire life," and I'm just like, "Ah." And then just seeing the pride in her mother's eyes. And I don't care if it was a recording or if it actually was her spirit, just seeing that broke me. Because you see Elsa, who's been dealing with anxiety and depression, and even after going through a paradigm shift, she still feels out of place. So to have her mother say, "You are all you need, you are where you need to be," that just, that broke me. Like, music is something else. It can get to you.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Disney does some good stuff. Um, I would definitely say I do like a lot of their "I Want" songs for their princesses. "Part of Your World" from Little Mermaid, "Provincial Town," or like I forget what I think that's what it's called for Beauty and the Beast. I also do like oh, there's another song. I don't think it's a song really. I just like Gaston. Gaston's like, he's such a good villain and a good
Yeah.
character.
Yes. Yeah.
But let's see. I
I
had
kind
listened to a
I
lot of Moana songs before because the little girl that we used to watch loved Moana.
yeah.
So you get to
Oh,
hear how
sure.
far I'll go and all that. And your favorite, probably, "You're Welcome."
Yeah, that one I sometimes just do it just to troll with people or just fuck with people, or I'm just having a mood of just like, oh, you've been suffering, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
Honestly, that song is such a great meme. I kind of view it as a meme song, not like a serious song. If
Well,
you get what
it
I mean.
kind of is because he's fucking with her.
Yeah. I don't really take it as like a serious song, so I don't really have a rating for it.
That's fair.
I
Oh,
don't place it high because it's the not like an A-tier song like fucking the Mulan song. If anyone does, I'm going to
but Mulan had some of the best music. Let's just be fair there.
yeah, yeah.
Now, I'm gonna move into this just because music and it had an impact on me regardless. What did you think about Steven Universe's songs?
I thought it was okay.
I can say I didn't like all of their library. I definitely don't like a lot of their library, but there's a few songs that do really stand out. I think obviously the one that a lot of people would turn to immediately is "It's Over, Isn't It?" I love that song so much. It's such a good tune. It's really sad on Pearl's part because, and I'm okay. This just needs to be said
Can
because
you
I need
post
to,
it?
huh?
Can you post it? I think I haven't listened to it,
I will get you the music video if I can. One
or
second.
my memory is just like so foggy.
I don't know. I mean, it was in their musical episode.
I don't remember then.
Over, isn't it? Okay, it's over, isn't it? Yes, yes, yes. Nope. All right. You might hear a little bit of something that came through, but like, it's because I don't just sit here with YouTube music off. Anyway, I will post that into here for you, Ruthless, so you can listen to that. It's that one. Basically, it's her kind of lamenting, reminiscing on the past and her relationship with Rose and how she was fine with everything until Greg came along. which I see people toss this term around so much, and it does bother me to a degree as a writer, and that is simp. Now, I understand what a simp actually is. It just bothers me when people throw it around all willy-nilly. Because I know some people had referred to movie Snape, like Severus Snape, as a simp, just because he always loved Lily and he never really moved on. You could argue the same for Pearl because she never moved on from Rose, like she still loves Rose. Now, my thing about this, and this is a small little tangent here, so I do apologize, but that is just how people can be. We can still love someone and just never fully move on from them, or we can, but we still hold on to that love. It doesn't make us any less capable of love or any more of a certain thing, because it just shows the devotion that we had to a person, whether it was well placed or not. And for some people who can easily get attached and things like that, that stuff is very difficult to break. So when I see people refer to simps, just as people who can't let go of love or the idea of love, it kind of does a disservice to the character, in my opinion. Because if anything,
I can,
it really undermines the devotion, which is meant to be an appeal in romance. It probably could have been best to go over this on something else, but it just bothers me because devotion and loyalty is something that goes hand in hand with love. And that stuff is not easily obtainable. Not by any means. Ruthless, I'm pretty sure you can agree with me on that one.
yeah.
Yeah. So, when some people.
I can't think.
I sure you can. But, when some people obtain that, it can be very difficult to let that go. And sometimes people do come to realize that I just want what's best for you. And that is love. You can still love someone romantically, but want the best for them instead. You want what will make them happy over your own happiness. And I by no means think that is worthy of being referred to as a simp, even if you never learn to love someone else. Because sometimes you just don't want to. Sometimes you just never find the right person or are able to establish a connection in the same way. So, that's. You have something you want to say?
Uh, Nothing. Totally nothing.
You have something you want to say?
No.
What was that noise for then?
Dying a little bit inside.
Why were you dying a little bit inside?
Just reasons.
Oh,
That's all.
share with the class, Ruthless. Come on.
But I definitely can. I can definitely see that though. But I definitely can see myself one of the people who just say simp just to troll, or just be
Now,
like,
see, if it's a troll, that's one thing, but there's people who are serious when they call people simps in those kind of cases, in which case I want to slap them. Because that shit really annoys me. Because that's kind of the whole draw of these kind of things, and I guess I can see it in the terms of country music as well, where that devotion and love comes through. But it just, I don't know, it hits different with country music. I don't know what it is. I think it's just what country music is, essentially. But I don't know why,
yeah.
but like when I hear it in other things, it doesn't sound as bad to me. Because, like, right here, it's over, isn't it? Like, it's taken Pearl thousands of years to come to terms with that Rose may have not actually liked her. And forever long Greg was with Rose, that as well. So, like, yeah, it's not always easy moving on.
Yeah.
And,
It
yeah,
is definitely hard.
it definitely is. So, yeah, that's kind of my thing. My hot take. That's just me, though. Another song I really do like from Steven Universe was from the movie that I never. Wait, no. I think I watched it. I think Dandy made me watch it. Uh, oh yeah, he definitely made me watch it. Uh, um, was Drift Away, which was Spinell's song. And this goes back to what I said in the Steven Universe episode a little bit, I think. I don't remember. Uh, I definitely feel more for Pink Diamond, and I do feel for Spinell, but I also don't like how they make Pink Diamond look like an absolutely horrible villain. She wasn't. She was a child. She made mistakes. And again, I will die on this hill, but Pink Diamond Rose Quartz was the most human of all the characters. Take that as you will.
True about that. Joking.
Well, yes, Ruthless, yes. But
So yeah,
go ahead.
I can definitely see that. Just hearing from, remembering some of the things from that one episode that we did on the Steven Universe, I can definitely see that, see your perception on that one.
I appreciate that. But I do like Spinell's number because as someone else who does deal with abandonment issues, I can definitely understand what that's like. And it's just, it is heart-wrenching to realize that everyone's moved on around you except for you, and they kind of just left you behind. Because I think, was it, when you realize everyone's gone on without you, and like you hear that little influctuation in her voice. I'm just like, beautiful. And the only other one I really, really related to was Distant Shores from like Lapis's little bop there. I think it's a very short little song too, but basically Lapis kind of wondering how Peridot can so easily adjust to this new world, this new life, whereas Lapis is having a lot of difficulties because of all the trauma that she's facing. And there's times where she wonders what it'll be like experiencing all this, like experiencing color she's never knew and things like that. But then the light starts to fade away and shadows invade her mind. She's reminded of her trauma. That makes it a little bit harder to, move on. And which I'm just like, that hits hard. Feel that in my soul. Yes, I did. I think the other one, only set of musicals that might have. Well, I say musicals in quotes, but like music-based TV shows is Helluva Boss. Helluva Boss has some good ass fucking music. I'm gonna say that right now. Hands down, favorite song is a cross between You Will Be Okay, which is Stolas's song in the second episode, as well as Stolas Sings, which was the first episode of season 2. Which is actually kind of funny because I remember that song better than the one from episode 2. Mostly because I feel
like
his
the
pain.
contrarian. I feel like the contrarian now.
What do you mean by that?
I thought the songs were pretty okay. Not something that I'm completely loved it, but I thought it was okay songs.
I personally loved them. I mean, the song from the prologue. I've been writing too much. The song from the pilot was fucking catchy as all hell. I don't think the first episode really had any music. Second episode, You Will Be Okay. It's beautiful. It's a little haunting, but it's got such a good fucking message. Holy hell. Just like the fact that they could have gone with, you don't ever have to worry, I'll always be here. No, they went with, even when I'm gone, you'll be okay because I won't always be here. Which I appreciate that a whole hell of a lot. Don't mind me. I'm a fucking toddler at heart. The third episode was Verosica. So I didn't like it at first, but as I've sitting here like listened to it more, I definitely like it a lot more. And I still find it very funny, Ruthless, that her voice actress is the same as Marinette's.
Yeah, I kind of when you told me that, I was like, no way. In my head, I'm like, and then I kind of listened to her afterwards, and I was like, I'm a fucking moron.
You want to know how I heard it? So it was in the third episode. It was during spring break. Whenever she's on stage and she yells out, "Are you ready to make some bitchin' bad choices?" When she said "bitchin' bad choices," I heard Marinette's voice, and I'm like, "Oh, hello."
I see.
It's funny. It's like when they swear, you hear it. That's just me though. I know episode 4 had the cherub one. That was okay. I think episode 5 with the Striker song was fucking hilarious because it's just like, hey, guess what, Moxie? Fuck you.
Moxie, he is like the butt end of the.
He definitely is. Oh, and I loved episode 6 song. I loved the fact that Moxie had a fucking Disney moment. I burst out into song with him all the time too. And then episode 7 with the House of Asmodeus. Oh, that was such a good song. It's certain parts, certain words get me just because of the vulgar nature that they are, and I'm just like, no, thank you. It mostly comes from Fizz towards where they're encouraging Moxie to sing. Again, I love Stola Sings. I think it's such a beautiful song, and I don't think they had a song in episode 2. I hope they have a song for episode 3. But yeah, I think. Yeah, I think that's about it for the most part. And for I know I've mentioned a few times of the serenading and the singing thing. So, fun little fact about me, I don't, or Ruthless, you might be able to guess this, or may not be surprised by it just because of how I am. I actually used to take choir classes when I was in middle school. I think I did that
Not surprised.
for 2 years, and I stopped taking the classes.
Huh.
Yeah, I loved singing. I still love singing. I'm not trained, obviously, because I can't hit those higher notes. I have a not deeper, I have a lower range to my voice. So I can only hit those high notes if I screech, as my mother puts it. I've been told otherwise by other people, but mommy issues. And, trauma. So, yay! Oh my gosh. The meds are doing their work. What a day. Anyway. We don't have Skull here right now. So, Ruthless, do you have anything else you want to
Me?
add?
We don't have Skull here right now.
You've been on mute this entire time, you little fucking bitch.
I was eating.
Not my problem.
I said I was back.
Yeah, well, you could have said something to contribute more, motherfucker.
I just got back.
Oh my gosh. As he puts himself back on mute. Fuck it. Alright, well, listen here, you two. Got anything else you want to add? I think I've had my fun.
Add on what?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I just got back.
Oh my
What
god.
do you expect?
Ah! That's what I expect. Damn it, man.
Listen, at least he's not playing a raptor.
Raptor would have been sitting in the, fucking peanut gallery this entire time, not saying a damn thing, just here but not actually here, because the man doesn't listen to any fucking music.
Doesn't like music and got mad at us for trying to change his opinion on music after he asked us to try change his mind.
It's like,
Yeah.
comparing himself to Hitler in the process. Who said that?
Comparing himself to Hitler, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a what the fuck moment.
Yeah, that was. Like,
That was a-
oh boy.
That was a big yikes.
It's like, Raptor, if we had the capability, we'd come over there and slap you right now.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I do much more than slap him.
I bet you would. I honestly bet you would.
I would kick his ass.
Yes, you would. To be fair, that's been building for a while. You do have this interesting chemistry between each other.
Testing.
Very, very
Home
interesting
food
chemistry.
noises.
Yes. But you missed the whole spiel I went on. I went on about like the country music, some of the exceptions to it.
Something, I have no context, mommy issues, yes.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Did you hear what I said about Steven Universe?
No, I just got back.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Well, I went over the songs I liked from Steven Universe because Steven Universe had an impact on me and it was a musical, basically, so.
Ooh.
Did you have something you wanted to add? Your mic's fucking up again.
Your mic is in the pits of.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Now it's clear.
Speak louder, bitch.
Make me. Fuck. Definitely good songs in the Steven Universe. There's also a couple of really good songs from Adventure Time.
Never really watched
Yes.
a lot of Adventure Time, but I do agree. There's like I like Bad Little Boy. One of my favorites. And all of Marceline's songs are pretty much a
Yeah.
yeah.
Banger.
I also really like the themes, not the theme song, the end title song, the island song.
I do not know that one.
I didn't listen to the whole thing until I stumbled upon it on YouTube accidentally one day when I was younger.
Oh wow. Oh, I'm reminded of something. I think it'd be a disservice if I didn't mention this because I fucking loved this song. The Hex Girls and their music from Scooby Doo.
Yes.
Yes.
I've been with them. Are they like the goth girls?
Yes, they are.
Oh, okay, yeah. Their songs were pretty decent.
Oh, they're more than decent. They're fucking amazing. I had to point that one out. It'd be a disservice if I didn't mention them because I was obsessed with that music from that movie. It's the only reason why I remember that movie.
Teehee.
That's why a lot of people remember that movie, let's be fair.
Yeah.
True, quite true. That's it.
But yes, anything else you guys want to add on?
Um, um,
Um,
uh,
Blah, blah, blah.
video game soundtracks are fun.
they're okay.
They're either really good or really bad. There's no in between.
You're right on that. There is no in between. I'll have to say some of my favorite ones have been Dragon Age, Origins, and 2. We don't talk about Inquisition, except for the Inquisition fans. Final Fantasy 13. I like their soundtrack, and Skyrim's got a good soundtrack. So that's the only ones I actually listen to. Which I will also add this in just because music and why I love a character so much. So I'll go more into this to our next episode, which our next episode's on Dragon Age, so get ready for me to rant about that shit. Fenris in Dragon Age 2. The only reason why I really love that character, aside from the brooding elf, tragic backstory, and the fact that his voice actor is sexy as hell.
Oh boy.
You heard, and I don't mean the character, like the person himself. I mean his voice is sexy. I'm like, whoo boy, he's got that voice. I'm just like, okay, it fits so well for the character. Anyway, but the other reason why I really fell in love with Fenris in the first place was actually the theme song that played with him every time he was on screen and having a moment, like a character developing moment, is this very almost haunting melody of vocalizations and things like that. And I think some people call it Mage's Pride when they do a fan version of it, and I'm just like, ah. But Fenris's theme is the biggest reason I fell in love with the character. Same in Dragon Age Origins with not really a theme song, but a reason why I liked a certain character so much was Liliana. After you help the Brazilian forest elves, she is reminded of a song that her elven caretaker had sang to her when she was a kid. And she does you the service of singing it for you. And it is one of the most beautiful songs ever. And I'm just like, oh boy. So, yes, music is a large part of why I like some characters. Same thing with like if I hear certain theme songs, like Silver the Hedgehog's theme song in Sonic 06, The Dreams of an Absolution. I love that fucking song. Any of Shadow's songs are kind of good too, but it's not the same. Yay, music! I guess where there's some other themes like yep, Yule and Noel and Sarah from Final Fantasy 13 too. I like their theme songs and all that fun stuff.
On the topic of like specific moments from games and like themes, I think the song, like one of the most emotional.
Your mic's fucking up.
Eat a dick.
Yeah, your mic.
One of the most emotional moments.
Your mic's fucking up
Your
again.
Your mic is like underwater. Like, are you like underwater? Are you like pulling a D&D like in our D&D game? Getting trapped in the water.
Ruthless, do me a favor. Shut the fuck up for a second.
But your
What?
mic was fucking
Please.
up. What do you expect?
Your mic is fucking up.
When it comes to video game moments and shit, Twilight Princess.
Your mic's fucking up again. Like, it will be crystal clear, and then the moment you keep talking, it sounds like you're far away and underwater.
Yeah.
But I heard Twilight Princess, and that's about all I got.
Yeah. I heard part of it. Part of like Twilight, and I heard Twilight, and then I was kind of.
I heard
like,
Twilight Princess. I don't
Yeah.
know where he's going with that because there's a lot of good moments in there, and I don't remember the game all that well. Wee.
Is it the Zelda game or?
Yeah, Twilight Princess is a Zelda game. Of course, it would be Zelda. What else would it be?
To be fair, I don't remember which. Like, I remember hearing Twilight Princess, but there's like two other things.
Okay, well, when it comes to Skull, what else do you expect?
Hang on. I'm sending one of my favorite songs from the Twilight Princess soundtrack because the cutscene that was involved with the event that led to this song playing and just the entire moment is super emotional and has this level of urgency to it.
Yeah.
It's just
which you remind me of something as well. So another kind of like theme that kind of actually stuck with a franchise after a certain character's introduction was Ezio's theme from Assassin's Creed, and how like Ezio's family, I think is what it's called. I could be wrong, but how that melody kind of went on to be largely associated with the brand itself because of how much people loved Ezio, and just the melody itself is so gorgeous that they pretty much, change it up a little bit for each new one. Ezio was a badass. He was hands down the best assassin. I thought there was another one, but I could be wrong.
Okay, that song is fucking banging.
What?
The one that you sent.
Yeah.
I'm recording, so I can't listen.
I gotta just say that mainly because I just quickly listened it, and I was like, fuck. And all of it, so it really hits me when it's just the lyric. Like, there was no lyrics. That's the
Yeah.
best part. There's no lyrics. That fuck sound of the instrumental.
That's the thing that I love the most about the Zelda series as a whole, is that with their soundtrack, it's just this beautiful instrumental that fits the different vibes of the different games. I mean, with the Wind Waker, you get this sort of open, adventurous, and sometimes downright suspenseful soundtrack that just fits with the world that it was made for.
Yeah, for sure.
With Breath of the Wild, they've got this soft piano that makes the world sound kind of empty, but calm, despite,
Piano,
everything that's happening.
yeah. Yeah, for sure. I can definitely see it with like a what's his name play type of playlist. Well, an instrument. Yeah, a piano instrument with that type of song, well, type of music. Just going for that concept is just great because it takes skill. Like the true types of music that just makes things good, like just good type of music, is just having good instrumentals.
Yeah.
I think I said this before, but I'm just gonna say it again because you were not here when I said this. But yeah, I definitely admit, like, there's some songs that just kind of ruins a lot of it with just the lyrics.
Yeah.
Kind of why there's some rap that I just cannot stand because the lyrics and the soundtrack is so bad behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else?
Not really.
Alright, Ruthless?
Yeah, might as well because I'm gonna have something. I might have something soon.
I was just asking because I was going to wrap up here real soon.
Yeah.
Well, there is just one thing I want to do real quick, and just because I like what he's got going on in his music. So one of my buddies I used to work with, he was one of my managers. His name is 1111 Clutch. I know I have him in our servers, but he is obviously non-existent because, well, he doesn't use Discord as much anymore. But he is an aspiring musician once again, and I know he is looking. He is. Last I asked him, or last I talked to him, he was working on putting a band together. So I ask that you guys show love to 11_11_ Clutch. You will find him on Instagram where he posts his music and all that fun stuff. Doesn't do it often, but what he does make is very nice. He's going for that very fantastical video game kind of style on his own. For his band, I'm not sure what they're doing. They were still kind of figuring that out. But yeah, that's the last thing I wanted to add. But anything else for you guys? Any closing words?
Yeah, nothing else. And I hope everyone have a good night.
Yes, we hope that everyone has a good night, morning, evening, afternoon, whatever the case may be, and you all have a wonderful day.